Hello. Hey guys.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Let's just wait for more folks to join and start. Almost there. 30 more seconds. I think we have Carl. Pete, can you kick us off, please?
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks everyone for joining. As always, there's a code of conduct for the llm-d community. So if you are part of this community, then you're choosing to abide by that code of conduct. You can find a link in the community meeting notes, which are connected to this meeting. Couple of updates as we're moving through the CNCF's donation. We have more community architects that are helping me on building out the community. David Simmons is a member of the Red Hat team, and he's going to be helping out on this project. I'm just getting him kind of onboarded to everything that's going on with it. So he'll be here. He had a conflict, couldn't be here today, but he'll be here for the next community call. But you may see him in the Slack and in other places. So big welcome to David. Really excited to have him helping out. And also on the CNCF progress, there was essentially one blocker involving the llm-d domain that we needed to get migrated before we could sign the contribution agreement. And so that should be in the clear for this week. And then that basically allows a legal team to be able to sign it. And then we can kind of officially start the process of migrating all the things over. So we'll have more details on what that looks like. There's obviously changes we'll have to make with Slack and with meetings and things like that, as we move into that foundation. But I'll keep everyone updated and make sure that, if anyone has any questions, we can just kind of cross that bridge when we get there. But that's it for the community updates. So I'll hand it back over to you, Carlos.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Great. So let's do our traditional agenda, open forum first and then SIG updates. Let's start with open forums. Anything folks want to discuss, bring up, complain, suggestions? We do have two seating topics that I'll save after any topics that people want to bring up. Okay. Then I'll just mention two big things going on. After KubeCon and the donation, there are a lot of more eyes on llm-d, which is a great thing. And one feedback that we keep getting, and I think we shared this before across the project, is just, again, documentation, consistency. I think because we have a lot of components, sometimes it's just hard to get a very kind of cohesive feel. So we decided to do a very big effort project-wide to revamp documentation. So this is ongoing now. It's also an opportunity for us to just revisit some of the structure. Things are moving very fast, as you guys can imagine. Across the project, there's a lot of things that I think we can improve in terms of just integration and consistency. So it's more like a heads up for everyone that a lot of the people here in the community are involved in doing this. I think it's very, very important for the project just to help, again, on board, make it easier for folks to understand how to use, how to get it started, and so on. So keep an eye. There's a bunch of stuff coming. And again, I think this is a very good asset. We are looking for feedback as well. So as we start to land some of these kind of updated assets for documentation, feel free to chime in and also share with us any feedback you might have. Any comments, questions for this one? Okay, so the other one is the CRL. I've been talking about it on and off. There's a lot actual activity going on in the L space. Just yesterday, after our conference round, we're able to kick off the CRL officially. So with the meeting, very good discussion. There are 3 incubation projects going on now. The charter is really to how we kind of come together with some common goals across this project. So again, keep an eye. Do join the community. The SIG call if you're interested. Again, we're collecting some of the point of views and assets, and you might see some of the code also popping up in incubation. So this will get traction very quickly because this is a topic that the whole community is very, very interested. So you'll see a lot going on here. Those were like kind of announcements for Open Forum. Anything else folks wanted to mention here? Okay, so let's start our rounds of updates. So let's go to first SIG installation with Marcio. You're speaking on mute, Marcio.
Sorry, my physical mute button. So release v06 is available. That's the main thing. In addition to that, as a heads up, there is this ongoing process of some guides were written in with Helm charts and others with native Kubernetes manifesto customized. Now we're going to standardize all the guides in a simplified manner, simplified format, right? Using loose native Kubernetes manifest and customize. So there will be little time of this arrangement to why we do that, but it will be for the better. So bear with us why we do go through this process. The third thing, we're trying to communicate and give the users a good experience, trying to hit a balance between, having all the guides, everything available, clearly communicate to the users what we can test locally. So you see guides now, they'll have a badge indicating status on nightly CI/CD. Okay, if you don't see a badge on a particular guide, it means that we are not testing locally for a variety of reasons, most likely because we don't have access to that particular resource. If you see a guide without a badge, you're owner of that particular guide and you have access to that resource, please talk to us. We would love to include as much variations as we can on the nightly CI/CD. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I was not sharing my screen, so thank you for sharing. Yes, thanks, Marcio. I think one thing that we should call out as we go through the process of migrating the guides, there'll be some disruption. I think this is important, again, in the spirit of simplifying things. So again, mind some of disruption over the next several days, I think, but we are quickly moving with this, and hopefully we can contain quickly. Okay, anything else for Marcio? Comments, questions? Right. So let's go to PD disaggregation with Tyler.
Yeah. Let's see. You scroll up a bit. Okay, so first of all, posted a short GB200 update. There's a PowerPoint link open to the public. Has a couple of slides that Maroon and I presented at a PyTorch conference last week. So there are YDP numbers on GB200 there. Benchmarking was stable enough to actually repro. We got about a 2x over KV-aware routing, or KV-aware routing is giving us about a 2x over random routing, and some of our results we're posting there. I don't think this is the optimal way to deploy this model in this case, but it is like a real benchmark and some real results there. There's also most of this is around like some of the difficulties that we've had with GB200. So we found basically at least two, actually like 3 kernels from Flash Infer that are, if you basically have nans adjacent to the data that you were working with, this can corrupt the outputs. We also found an issue in VLLM model runner v1 where the dummy runs are writing nans to block 0 of the KV cache. So we're very close to root causing all of the new numerical like NAN issues that we're running into in this case. So very light at the end of the tunnel here. And then once all that lands, I have a image update for the llm-d CUDA build that we can update to pick up those changes, and also update to CUDA 13 and also fix some S-cache issues. Just came from the VLLM large-scale serving sync. There's a lot of interest in work around fault-tolerant and elastic EP. So that's going on. Would be interested to, this is a place where we'll need to, or want to do some work or look into doing some work in llm-d to support this as well. One last thing is, Rob is working on a proposal for like active leasing of KV cache blocks so that, when a decoder instance dies, currently we'll leave the KV cache block stranded on the prefiller for 5 minutes. And so we're working on tightening that up. All right, that's it for me.
That's great. Thanks, Tyler. Any comments, questions? Tyler, I do have one question on the networking stack side. Are we still exploring UCL EP support at all?
There isn't really active work on the VLLM side. Somebody from the UCL team was working on integrating this into VLLM. So it is like API compatible with DPP. So technically, like the integration should be easy, but then, in reality, these things can always become tricky. So there were deadlock issues that they couldn't get past. So nobody is actively working on this right now.
Okay, good to know. All right, thank you. Okay, let's move over to Inference Scheduler. Nidhi?
Hey, yes, so the mirroring of the IGW EPP code into llm-d Inference Scheduler is going to happen on Monday. Please note that only the PRs that are merged by the end of this week will be included. Others must be reopened in the Inference Scheduler repo in llm-d. V07 introduced initial EPD support. So this is still initial. There is a disaggregation profile. There is also a support in the KV score for EPD. This is still work in progress, adding support, also working on with the VLLM side to enable P2P transfer of the embeddings, which would enable us to do this more efficiently. So this is still work in progress across the entire stack. Batch Gateway, this is a project that's currently in incubation. Hopefully will move to llm-d soon. There is initial upstream release. This is actually OpenAI compatible API server for managing batch jobs. So I posted the link if anyone wants to take a look. Today in the SIG Inference Scheduler call, we have Leo will demonstrate this capability. Also, I didn't mention, but there is some work being done on designing new disaggregated architecture that would enable us doing better disaggregation support in the scheduler. So this is still work in progress. Some documents are already posted, and we'll update on that soon. That's it on our side.
All right. Any questions, comments? All right. let's go to KV aggregation. Maroon.
Yeah, Zach. So we published the roadmap for the next llm-d release. It's just the draft. We expect some more items to be added, but it has a bunch of them already. I want to emphasize that two major themes, especially for the scheduling side or the prefix cache scheduling side, is feature completeness across the stack and production readiness, which involves robustness and reliable CI. So these will be major themes for the coming release. Do check out the issue. If you have any items you wish to be addressed, leave in the comments, and we'll be iterating on the roadmap in the coming week also. On the VLM side, HMA support for KV offloading connector is pending review. There are a bunch of small, well-positioned PRs in VLM by or pending review to land this feature. So it's just in review stage and ready to go. There's an RFC on selective KV cache offload by Angelo. Also can use comments and ideas on the proposal there. The main idea is to better control what portions of the tokens or inputs are offloaded into what tiers. There's progress on context-aware KV cache retention API, which is KV cache eviction retention API pretty much by Young-Kyun Moon. I think the PR is still in draft state. He'll be updating with a few benchmarks and then we'll be pushing, but it can be reviewed already. One last update on the VLM side. So for HMA support for prefix cache aware scheduling, so this is important for feature completeness. Martin Hickey landed a KV events update in which KV events do report what attention group is admitted or evicted. That's on VLM. On offloading, fear added storage aware throttling for slow storage backends. On scheduling, Alberto landed a big feature for robustness and feature completeness in the near future with a follow-up heterogeneous block size support. So this means that now we no longer need to synchronize between the configured block size and the VLM or SGLang block size. So the same indexer works with any block size pretty much, and things, many benchmarks were run, and we do see that we run multiple scenarios. So this enables many-to-many mapping between local block sizes and engine block sizes or KV block hashes or whatever. And we do see that it's at least as performant and in some cases does even better. The second half of handling or enabling HMA-aware prefix cache scheduling is PR'd by Kapil, which does address using the attention group IDs Martin landed in VLM. And we're, as a part of improving CI, there's a golden test cases were landed for multimodal, and we'll publish a plan for further strengthening and increasing the reliability of the CI there. That's all on our side.
Thanks, Maro. And all of these merged already, right? So all of these are landed, the PRs.
So some are open for review, some have landed, yes.
Okay. All right, got it. Thank you. Questions, comments? Let's do benchmarking then. Marcio?
Okay, so that refactor that I've been promising for several weeks now is ready. It's there now. The whole code is now installable as a pip package, right? We have this declarative, well-lit path way of doing fully automated stacks stand up. It's already there. We believe we're giving a good user experience for anyone who wants to try out the guide without having to read the instructions there, just run a command. There are several components inside the llm-d benchmark which were extracted and put in their own project for a variety of reasons. They're extremely useful. So the capacity planner, GPU recommender, configuration explorer now exists as a llm-d incubation, llm-d planner. There is a counterpart for graphing, a visualization on llm-d Prism. Okay, and also we did a better integration with observability, with single observability. Now all the time series like metrics that you get from observability, they are part of the benchmark report, and some time series graphs are automatically produced. Finally, I would like to invite others to test and give us feedback on this new user experience. We are kind of holding the V06 release based on the significant amount of both feedback and contributions that we got on the code and the interest. So please, I invite all to take it for a spin and let us know. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcio. Questions, comments? Okay. Observability, Sally?
Yeah, again, not too much going on. I know there are some docs updates, but I don't have a PR for that. If somebody else has started one, you can link it there. I'll definitely review whatever's going on with the docs updates, especially around the change to the customize from Helm apply. That I think that's probably going to be a lot of work. There is an upstream issue in GAIE, but it has a lot of good comments around what's needed with observability in general. This is to improve the tracing in the gateway, but basically there was a good comment that said we do need the community to provide feedback on like where we should go, what we need with observability, especially around a mixture of experts. That's been a topic that I've been meaning to get to, which brings me to another point where I need help with observability. If there's anybody that's really interested in this, please reach out, because I've been finding that I have a lot on my plate so I could use help, like really carrying this and bringing things forward.
All right. Thanks, Sally. Yeah, and the desk it's there. Anyone willing to help? Yeah, let us know. Let's do auto scaling. I'm sure.
Yeah. So hi all. So we did a lot of simplification on the well-lit path guide. The talk was split into infra and the server installation for well-lit path. So it's more modular and more reproducible. We also did separate the WVA installation from auto scaling enablement, meaning WVA installs as a container, but firing of VAs and HPAs happens as a different step. That's literally part of scaling / workload enablement. So those kinds of simplification, breaking things down, make things more deterministic and more reliable, and also it simplified the well-lit path. From well-lit path simplification, we also simplified the nightly runs. Usually in nightly runs, we were installing the whole llm-d and running the whole suite of E2Es that we had for WVA. So it was almost like the nightly was the complete entire E2E running every night, which I think was too much just to do some sort of sanity checks. So even that nightly install and run has been simplified, and again, it's just now nightly is just a consumer of the well-lit path, which was simplified in the previous step. So it's run much faster, and obviously it's more deterministic. And on top of it, WVA now has family of optimizers. So I mean, at least 3 to begin with. saturation V1, V2, and SLO based, and we are now really trying to make benchmarking as a commodity for anyone and everyone as a chat ops thing. So for that, we're doing a lot of work on supporting these scenarios. And at this point, if you are one of the core maintainers, you can launch a pre-fill heavy benchmark and multimodal deployment benchmark with just chat up commands on any PR, and test the regression, if any, of the next algorithm that is coming into the system. And then, as we talked about, there is doc revamp everywhere happening, and WVA is like is also part of llm-d. So it's the same kind of trend continues, where we are trying to revamp our docs, and we have multiple PRs enabled. And like coming back to benchmark, right? Since we are now running benchmarks, we are capturing data. Pod startup time is one of the things that keeps coming up constantly as a Kubernetes, I would say, limitation to fast auto scale, right? So there is also work on fast model loading and WVA integration that the team is doing. And we have also started V0.7 planning, and we'll share more details. So those are kind of like the updates from the WVA side.
Okay. Thanks, Abhishek. Question, comments? Just want to save a few minutes for. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lena.
No, Carlos, finish your thought.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that Praveen has at least a few minutes to go over networking. But please go ahead, Lena, if you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question in general. Like, if I'm a customer perspective, I wanted to ask that how stable do you think the APIs are, right? For example, and these benchmarks, are we able to show the gains that we are able to do that, yes, the WVA is happening? Because this is something customers ask every day about autoscaling, that distributed inference at scale. I mean, it's even in the name of it. So I wonder, how far do you think it would be that customers can actually start using and see the benefits from the API stability and benchmarking perspective?
So, I mean, we are already there. So, long story short, we have run this benchmarks with HPA. There are slides that the PSAP team has that shows the gains, the difference. I mean, the gains are obviously in terms of cost optimization for some tuning. So, I mean, I don't want to, track down the details, but I'll add you to those slide deck.
Yeah, I have slide, Abhishek. I was not sure those are the ones that we can take it to the customer yet. So that's why my was question here. Yeah.
Right.
But let's take it offline. But I would really like to see this shape up and actually become part of the product. So that's why I was asking. Yes.
Right. Maybe just a quick summary. This, I think, throughout the project, I mean, you always have to remind ourselves that, like, why to adopt very clearly. What are the benefits measurable in some meaningful scenario is what ultimately make people, of course, use llm-d. So yeah, let's take this one offline, but if you don't feel like data it's enough, we'll do more work there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Praveen, sorry, two minutes for you.
No problem, Carlos. Thank you. So bunch of updates. So on the Yokel side, we have added Yokel to the llm-d Docker image for the NVIDIA and ROCm, raised a PR. So with that change, hopefully we can launching Nixel with Yokel backend is just a configuration change in the VLLM YAML. So it will be much easier. The next one is the multi-transport selection in Yokel. This is very important to bring Yokel on par with UCX in terms of the usability. So currently it's compile time selection. We have to specify TCP or RDMA during compile time, which is not very feasible while we are building Docker images. So that PR is under review. Hopefully it should get merged this week or the next. I have an item on my list to follow up on the Yokel EP. So I'll hopefully I can come back next week with more updates on the on the EP side, how usable it is, and the experience with VLLM on that. And the other thing is the network troubleshooting and docs. So Alec has been adding a couple of scripts in the PD utils to do topology discovery, performance, bandwidth, benchmarking, latency between the pre-filled decode pods. So everything can be run in a single script, and then the user will know the deployment setting and so on. We expect to add some references to this in the docs so that we can mention it in the RDMA troubleshooting guide or something in the docs. And of course, there's a ongoing work that we are doing with the multi-tier connector team, referencing to simplify the P2P transfer or the PD transfer, the way the Nixel connector operates right now in VLLM. This is still in very early stages, so hopefully we'll get more updates on that next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Praveen. We ran out of time. Thanks a lot all for the updates. If there is anything else, please bring up in Slack. And I see Sean talking about the session. Google Next is great. So if anything else, please chime in Slack. Thank you all. See you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Bye.